Franchise Sports Media!
What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of The Main Event right here on Franchise Sports Media. I am your host, Kalani Lua. Man, oh man, UFC 319 went down this past weekend in Chicago, Illinois, Chi-Town. Stand up, and man, oh man, stand up should have been more of a thing, but we'll get to that pretty soon. But UFC 319 in the books. We have a new king of the mountain in the middleweight division. And I'll be damned if that dude from across the pond over there, if he didn't come over here and elbow one of our fine homebred fighters into oblivion. Oh my gosh. We got UFC debuts that didn't go as well. We got first in UFC history with 2 knockouts that we have not seen on the same card in UFC history. Let's dive into it. In the main event of UFC 319, we saw the middleweight championship on the line as Khamzat Chimaev was going up against Dricus du Plessis, DDP. This was an interesting matchup to start with because you figure, okay, both of these guys got good cardio. DDP a little bit better, which is amazing considering how huge and jacked that dude is. I mean, he's talking about moving up to 205. Yet at 185, he can go to full 5 rounds and say, come on, chap, you got some more? Then you got Khamzat, who has shown time and time again, I'm going to take you down. There's nothing you could do about it. I'm going to submit you. I'm going to ground and pound you. I might even stand up and knock you out at times. I won't even get hit a whole lot. Bet you can't hit me. He must have been the best dude at tag growing up. Khamzat Chimaev, that is, because he does not get hit whatsoever. These two going at it, both are strong, both are powerful, both are undefeated in the UFC. Both have shown that while they are tough to prepare for in their own unique styles, DDP, a little bit more on the unorthodox side, moves a little differently, puts his punches and combinations together that isn't your traditional textbook way of doing it, but it's been successful for him. Khamzat Chimaev, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to come in. I'm going to take you down. I'm going to ground and pound you. If we are to stand up, I am going to jab right across you. We go back to the ground, protect your neck, protect your jaw, as Robert Whittaker. Well, when these guys went at it and the bell rang, takedown within the first 10 seconds of the fight, Khamzat went ahead and took him down, and well, that pretty much was the fight. It was utter dominance by Khamzat Chimaev to go in there and just fully control Dricus du Plessis on the ground. He had 3, 4, maybe 15 crucifixes on the champion. Champion couldn't get out. Now, what the DDP did do while in the crucifix, and for those tuning in, the crucifix, you're on your back, your opponent's on top of you. Your opponent has one of your arms tied up with his legs over here. He's got his arms tying up this one. Now you're in a crucifix position. Oh, you get it. In that one, that's usually night-night. It's usually over when a fighter gets his opponent in that position. DDP, to his credit, tougher than a $2 steak. Went in there, tucked his head in as close as he could on either side to avoid the punches. Oh, man. But it was just Khamzat, just domination. Let's go over some of the numbers real quick, okay? Because they say numbers don't lie. Oh, boy. These numbers right here do speak a whole truth. Khamzat Chimaev landed 529 strikes out of 567 thrown, 93.3%. 12 takedowns out of 17 attempts. And believe me, the ones he didn't get, it wasn't long after that he got another one. Then you had 13 significant strikes absorbed. Think about that. They went 25 minutes, 5-minute rounds. And I only took 13 strikes. I can't do the math on what that average out to. But God, that's what I said. He must have been the champion at tag growing up. It's like that movie with Jeremy Evans and the rest of the guys, John Hamm, Hannibal Buress, and all them. Yeah, you guys haven't touched me this whole time. And I'm the champion. Undefeated, can't be touched. 21 minutes and 40 seconds of absolute control time. All 3 judges had it 50-44. All 3 gave the third round a 10-8 round of dominance for Khamzat Chimaev. He now improves to 15-0. He is the middleweight champion, new king at 185. And I tell you, it was one of those where you watch it, and in the aftermath, you get reactions. One, you do get the purists of MMA, the grapplers, the Joe Rogans, the Daniel DCs, and others who love this performance because it was true dominance. You don't see this level of dominance often, especially at the championship level. Dricus du Plessis is not a one-hit wonder. He didn't defeat the champion on an off night, and then this was his first title defense, and oh, wait a minute, cred check, maybe he's not as good as we thought. No, he has shown I'm a champion for a reason. I'm one of the better fighters at 185. Hey, if I would have got past this, I'm moving up to 205 to challenge the winner of Ankalaev and Pereira later on this year. So he's legit. Khamzat Chimaev, though, is like, I smash everybody. I smash everybody. The problem is, though, while the purists love this, and it was a dominating performance, it truly, truly was. I have said on this show many, many of times, if you're going to be that dominant over your opponent, you got to find a way to finish them. You got to find a way to finish them, okay? If you're doing a game, hey, we're on a time clock here. The game cannot end when I get 21, when I'm up 21 points on you and you don't score in the next possession, I lie like we're playing Madden. That's not how this works. We got to play all 4 quarters, all 9 innings, both halves. Here, no. It can end at any point in time. Khamzat chose to play the safe role. He chose to be conservative, chose to say, what is going to be my best path to victory? I'm just going to wrestle hump this dude, ground and pound, hold him on the ground. 529 significant strikes. A lot of it was Peter Patter. A lot of it. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a tough son of a gun. He's strong. I don't want to take him, but I'm not a trained professional fighter. That's a 185 champion. So when you look at it, it reminded me of when Chael Sonnen fought Anderson Silva back in the day. You guys remember that. Chael Sonnen dominates the champion, has a Brazilian on the ground, and he's just using his wrestling to dominate him and control him, but he's pity-patting him. Knock, knock, who's there? Knock, knock, who's there? All right, tag you in, no tag you in. Whole time. And you're almost like, okay, cool. If you could do that, why don't you try to finish him? He had him in the crucifix. I guarantee you, while Dricus du Plessis was in the crucifix, Khamzat could have rained down some elbows. He could have rained down some more powerful strikes and could have got the fight stopped. But again, chose to play it safe, chose to not engage as much, trying to get the finish. Now, he only went for, I think, 2, maybe 3 times. He tried to go for a submission, but he gave up on it early once Dricus du Plessis defended it right away. He tried to go for a rear naked. Du Plessis fights the hand. Okay, no more of that, no more of that, no more of that. And that's the other issue, is why people want to say, well, if you don't like it, don't tune in. No. UFC, MMA, you need your stars. Boxing, you need your star. Pro wrestling, you need your stars. In order to be a star, you got to have the casuals tune in. That's where your money comes from. That's why Conor McGregor is so spectacular and such a big draw when he comes in. I get everyone to watch. Khamzat has that. He has that ability we saw during the pandemic and shortly after, before injuries and issues with his passport and other things possibly came up, where people was loving this dude. He doesn't get hit a whole lot. He's aggressive. He gets right to it. He's knocking dudes out, making them tap out, X, Y, and Z. But I've said on this show many, many times over the years, there are certain fights, there are certain moments in a person's career where not only do you have to win, you got to make a statement. This is one of those where you say, I'm here. Now, with the dominance that he did, he made a statement. But then you also got to look at it and say, okay, if this was your first time watching the UFC, are you going to tune in the next time Khamzat Chimaev fights? If this is your first time, hey, man, I don't know about the UFC. I've seen highlights on TikTok and Instagram and on social media. Let me check out this card. Okay, let me check out the main event. Okay, are you coming back after watching that main event? If this was on the Dana White Contender Series, where, hey, you go out there, you perform well, you get a good victory, you get a contract to come on, buddy. Well, this has got Khamzat a contract. Afterwards, he dominates him 3, 4, 5 rounds, however long you go on a Contender Series. With that same performance, same one, different arena. This Dana White said, Khamzat, we want to sign you. I don't know. Maybe. But then again, where's the urgency? Where's the, hey, I got a commanding lead here? Now what? It's like when you see a football team get a lead early in the game, and now they pull the pedals off. I'm not going to name any names. John Gruden when he was with the Raiders. Get the 3-point lead or a touchdown lead in the second quarter. Now we're doing fullback dives up the middle trying to run out the clock. In the first half? Beginning of the third quarter? No. You got to stay aggressive. Didn't do that here. Didn't do that here with Khamzat. So It was a great victory for him. It was awesome to see that level of dominance on someone who, quite frankly, no one's ever been able to do something like that to a champion of this caliber. And Khamzat went out there and did it. So shout out to him for that. It was impressive, but it does leave a sour taste in your mouth. Do we really want to see the rematch? And then when you look at that, you say, well, if he's doing that to DDP, who the hell else at 185 is going to be able to catch him? Who at 185 is next, wants to be next, or wants to go through that meat grinder? Maybe somebody comes down from 205. Maybe somebody comes up from 170. Maybe a former welterweight champion that stepped up on 10 days' notice, fought Khamzat, gave him the run of a lifetime. Some people, like me, thought he won. Maybe Kamaru Usman says, hey, Khamzat, why don't you give me a full camp to prepare for you? And let's see how you do with an American wrestler like myself and a former champion. Let's see one time. Let's see if the old man still got one more in him. All I'm saying is that seems like a good matchup to make. Don't think it'll be next, but I wouldn't be mad if we hear about that coming up sometime in the near future. But shout out to Khamzat Chimaev going out there, gets the victory. Dricus du Plessis, you're a hell of a champion, hell of a warrior, showed tremendous heart. He's going to be back. What's interesting is, you want to come back, you want to right your loss, you want to right your wrong. How long does he stay at 185? Because like I said before, there was always talks about him moving up to 205. How long does he try to stay at 185? Does he try to make one more push for one, maybe two more fights? Maybe he's got to fight somebody else right now to get a rematch because he got dominated so much. If he wins that, maybe he gets another crack at the title. If he loses that, does he then move on and move up to 205? Hey, if I don't get an immediate rematch, okay, fine. Maybe I just go back up. Maybe I'll just finally move up to 205, check my status here and see how I do. We shall see. On the card as well, this was amazing. This was absolutely amazing. We had, in the co-main event, we had a featherweight matchup between LaRon Murphy, the Brit, taking on Aaron Pico, the American. Aaron Pico making his UFC debut, coming over from Bellator, tremendous background in amateur wrestling, picked up boxing, fell in love with it. We've seen him over the years, 1 point away from making the Olympic team. Knockout power. He loves to engage with guys. Sometimes he gets a little sloppy with it, and I don't necessarily want to say this was sloppy, but he got caught. LaRon Murphy with a spinning elbow knockout in the first round, flatline Pico. Oh my gosh. What was interesting about it, you watching the fight, and they engaged right away. It looked like Pico might have hit him with the left hook that hurt Murphy. Now, again, sometimes footing, maybe I'm transitioning my feet and I'm trying to switch positions and you catch me, X, Y, and Z, the momentum just taking me back, and instead of me trying to stay in there, let me back up a little bit. But it looked like Pico caught Murphy, slightly hurt him, and Murphy was, okay, keeping his composure, let me block, let me move around, let me throw something back at you, hey, back up. But Pico was aggressive, he was looking to come in. Well, I guess you could say his problem was he was coming in head first for them takedowns. Really was not setting them up much by throwing combinations or kicks and then following with a double leg. He was just coming in. Murphy just timed it and whoop-pow! Hit a John Jones spinning elbow on the man and woo-wee. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now, LaRon Murphy, 17-0. Obviously means he's undefeated in the UFC as well. Tremendous stand-up. This type of knockout right here is exactly what you do when you're trying to make a name for yourself to move up. Yes, he's top 5, top 6 in the featherweight division, and while people are talking about him, this is a moment where you say, I'm taking on somebody that people know, who's making their debut. I'm in the co-main event of a pay-per-view in a major city. Let me go out here and make a statement. Let me go out here and show people why they need to tune into my fights. Let me go out here and show the masses and the boss right there why I need to be next in line for a title shot. And with a performance like this, with that type of finish, woo-wee, stamping and mail it on the way. LaRon Murphy then afterwards calls out the champ, hey, Volk, me and you, baby. And I tell you, we've seen Volkanovski run through the division. He circled back a couple times. Hey, LaRon Murphy is fresh meat. I'd love to see him and Volkanovski go at it. That'll be a tremendous matchup with these two. So be on the lookout for LaRon Murphy trying to challenge for a title. Does that happen before the end of the year? Someplace in early 2026, we shall see. They might try to give him one more because this was somebody making his debut. LaRon Murphy did step in on short notice. So maybe the UFC is like, look, you give us one more. We're going to match you up against, I'm just putting it out there. We're just going to match you up against Yair Rodriguez. We're going to match you up against this fighter. And let's see how you do. Ooh, can you imagine LeBron Murphy and Yair Rodriguez? Woo. But we're going to match you up with them. You do that, you're next in line for the title because we got some guys already fighting at UFC Noche next month. So let's clear some of this clutter out and let's get you up there because I tell you, that's a hell of a way to make a statement. Speaking of making statements, well, that was the second spinning elbow knockout of the night. The first one came the one before in the welterweight division as Carlos Prates knocked out Jeff Neal. First round knockout as time went out. This was an amazing matchup. Neal and Prates was two fighters. Prates being from Brazil, the American Neal. We knew these guys were going to throw some heavy leather. We knew that they were going to be here throwing bombs and go at it with each other. And it was going to be a fun, exciting fight. Somebody most likely was going to sleep. Who, when, how? Those were the questions we didn't know. But we got the answer. And what was interesting, it wasn't exactly the same, but it's kind of like when you hear and Max Holloway points to the center of the ring the last 10 seconds of the fifth round. Hey, let's go. You hear? They're going at it, bam, 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 and probably just bam, does a spin, knocks out Neal. Neal's never been knocked out before in the UFC. First time this is happening, and it was woo-wee. The fighting nerds from Brazil continue to dominate and continue to put on tremendous shows while they step in the octagon. It is going to be fun to see where Carlos goes from here in the welterweight division. How much longer before he gets a crack at the championship? How much longer before he's in the co-main event, trying to fight for a number one contender spot, possibly main event of a fight night card of his own? We shall see, but that was a hell of one. So to get two spinning knockouts on the same card, first time in UFC history, to think for 32 years, the UFC's been around. It came around in 1993. For 32 years, we've had UFC cards all over the world, all over the country. And have this be the first time it's happened 33 years in, that's pretty damn good. That is pretty freaking good. Also, just want to put this out there. Also, what was pretty good was to see Michael Venom Page get the victory as well at UFC 319. He moved up in the middleweight division. He got a decision victory over Jared Cannonier. It was interesting because, MVP's like, hey, listen, I don't know if middleweight is going to be my permanent residency, but I wanted to move up here, see how my body feels, test it out, and who knows, maybe without the weight cut and I could be up here and a little faster than most of these guys who are naturally bigger than me. Let's see how it works out. He looked good against Cannonier, dropped him a couple of times, which is something you don't see in a Cannonier fight. Cannonier is usually the one doing the dropping, not getting dropped. But for MVP, one of the things with him that's always hit or miss, his style is so unique and it's very fun to watch. But it's one of those where if he doesn't catch you, right, he doesn't really set up a lot to put together combinations that, okay, now I'm going to put you away just by overwhelming you. I'm going to move around, do my little snake bit, and pop you here, jump in with this. He's basically trying to hit the home run swing. Either I'm going to hit the home run over the park, or I'm going to strike out, or just get a simple base hit, which is fine. But then there's times where you almost want to say, hey, man, you got the dude hurt. Instead of trying to get the highlight reel knockout with a jumping, spinning back fist knee toward his turn, just made it up on the spot. How about you just go in there and put the man away? I felt that there was a few times where he could have did that, but Cannonier, we know, could put your lights out like that. With his strength and power and with his composure, you don't want to just rush in there like a bull in the china shop and just think, okay, I'm going to put him away now. But MVP at middleweight could be interesting. If he stays at middleweight, the next fight I want to see will be MVP taking on the style bender, Israel Adesanya. That'll be a whole lot of fun. Those two, with their unique styles and whatnot, they'll probably have a dance-off like Yoel Romero did with Izzy beforehand. Then the entrances that both of these guys do, they both have done the Undertaker entrance. So do they see who could do it better? Does one come in as the old-school Undertaker and the other one comes in as the American Badass Undertaker? Well, neither one of us Americans, so maybe we don't do that one. But Undertaker has several characters. Do they do those? Do they pick another wrestler to do entrances too? I don't know. But it'll be a whole lot of fun to see Izzy and MVP go at it somewhere down the future. I'd love to see that 185. Izzy definitely won't make 170, but that'd be a fun matchup to make. But UFC 319, man, it was fun. It was interesting. Highlight reel knockouts, obviously. And then it was kind of just like, okay. The main event was one of those where it was a great movie. I don't need to rewatch it, though. I don't need to rewatch it. Yeah, sure, it may have won the Oscar for Best Picture of the Year. Who's really rewatching English Patient? Who? Once you saw Titanic, all right, Cool. Now, I know some people, mostly teenage girls at the time, rewatched it because of Leo and all that. But, once you saw it, it was all right. Oppenheimer, great film. Are you really going back to rewatch that a bunch of times? Feel like that with this. Again, if this was on Dana White's Contender Series, would Dana give him a contract? Don't know. But what I do know is this. We got a new champion. We got new contenders, and we got some exciting matchups coming forward. And man, oh man, the hits just keep on coming. So be sure to tune in to UFC, trying to end 2025 with a bang. One thing is good. If I'd have paid $80 for this, I'd have been heated with that main event. But come next year, don't got to worry about it. Just make sure you tune into the subscription. Well, folks, that's going to do it for me here on the main event. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and tune in weekly as we will bring you more UFC, power slap, boxing, wrestling. We didn't get to any of it today, kind of slow, but there will be more to come, I promise you, on all combat sports related. Be sure to tune into the main event on Franchise Sports Media. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm your host, Klein Lua. Till next time, fight fans. Peace.